I like GBO2. It's a fun game when it works, but oh boy, the internet hates it. And I saw the Gundam Evolutions network test was bad. Here, the review color is redder than Char's paint job. The PC board is sitting at a mostly negative review count, and why is that? Today we're going to figure out everything that's wrong with GBO2. Bandai seems to be investing all of the big bucks that they made from Witcher Mercury into their Gundam metaverse, instead of actually working on broadening their distribution strategy. This means we get shitty servers. It takes fucking ages to get into a match because I have to sit here and watch as my matchmaking fails 80% of the time. Getting into a match-made game is a real challenge. And once you're inside, oh boy, I hope you're ready for people teleporting across your screen or sliding or just plain disconnects with your mobile suit sitting there doing nothing. Bandai's track record for Gundam games on PC so far give me an idea of what network problems we can be expecting, and I'm happy to report that I haven't been kicked out of a game yet. However, those poor folks who have been kicked experience 1 to 4 days of ban time. When the network is not screwing with you, the piss poor performance of the game will prank you so hard you'll swear you're looking at a PowerPoint presentation. I experience heavy drops in the base can't section of the game, but there are stutters inside of the mobile suit arena as well. The Haro menu is also lagging so much. Very big annoyance to me. The game runs like chunky peanut butter. This is compounded by the fact that a huge part of the game is based on careful aiming and stunning targets. One shot miss, network, or a frame issue could mean 5 to 7 seconds of downtime depending on what mobile suits you're playing with. Like for example, with the Gundam Mark II, I have a fucking 6-second cooldown on my primary weapon. That's huge. If I miss that shot, I'm basically useless for 6 seconds. It means also that the melee counter system is a little bit of coin toss depending on what kind of connection you have. The counter system is based on timing it with a melee attack, so you can either be executing a cool counter attack or just shoulder bashing into someone. The network issue is the biggest issue facing Gundam Battle Operations 2, and this game honestly shouldn't get a positive rating until it is fixed. Besides the network, there is a lot of quality of life and gameplay issues that I see in the game. Obviously, we have to talk about pay to win. See, I'm usually okay with pay to win because most gacha games are PvE based. Things like Genshin Impact or Fate to Go are passable pay to win games. You're not hurting anyone by beating up the AI. What I can't accept is PvP based pay to win. A game that's usually pretty good at keeping the pay to win down is PlanetSide 2. Most of the weapons in PlanetSide 2 are side grades, but in GBO2 you can pay for upgrades. There's a lot of 4-star units in the game that are just pretty much better or easier to play than the 3-star counterparts. If you have, let's say, a Phoenix, a Banshee, or a Unicorn at that 700 range, you're dominating, right? So there are also a lot of custom parts that are either banner only or recycled tickets only, and those custom parts are pretty damn important sometimes to the mobile suits that you are playing. All of this compounds and it adds up to a person that spends a lot in the game will have better custom parts, better units, and you'll just feel like you're being outmatched even though it's not your skill issue. The exclusivity of that feels kind of bad because often you won't be able to fight on equal grounds if you're not cashing out on this game. And another point that I would like to bring up is that the higher level low cost units are generally worthless. Like let's say you have I had a really bad game with the Yan EOS level 4. I got that from one of the banners, and apparently according to the kind GBO2 community, shout out to the GBO2 Discord, They told me that you should never be using a level 3 or 4 mobile suit because you are playing at a point cost where everybody else has a lot more skills than you, and when you upgrade your mobile suit to level 4, you're getting some of the stats, but your weapon is not getting upgraded, and also your stats are being upgraded, but you're not getting more skills. So never play 3 or 4s in the game if you can help it, because, well, they're pretty useless. And that's a really big problem too in the gacha, is that there are like 1, 2, 3, 4 levels, right? But then half of those levels, anything above the level 2, you should generally try not to play there because they're fucking useless. It will be useless in the point category that you're playing in. A strong set of skills and fundamentals would allow you to overcome any mobile suit difference. However, in the same idea, imagine if Guel had access to a mobile suit as powerful as the Aerial, or if Solida had to pilot something like the Demi Trainer. The battles will be a lot different. Mobile suit performance really matters, and that is a point in PvP that we cannot gloss over. That's why this game feels a bit pay to win, in my opinion. Plus, there's the fact this is a sort of a quality of life thing. You can't test units before we buy them on the DP exchange. For example, I bought the Gundam Unit 5, thinking that it had a beam cannon that can stagger like other Gundam units. Nope, turns out the Gundam unit's flies beam rifle does almost no stagger, even with a charge up, and to stagger, you'll need to use the arm beam guns. Now, I wouldn't know that just by looking at the thing, and I had to find out in the testing grounds. And I found out in game because I couldn't stagger someone that was running at me with the beam rifle, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, Dash thing should stun in 1 or 2 shots. And the fact that you can't pick up a mobile suit for use just by going to the horror menu and then selecting it and clicking one button is kind of wild to me, because you have to scroll down in the laggy horror menu, and then you have to press select and then scroll all the way down to register, and you have to pick between ground and space. So it's a lot of button selecting for something that should have been just one click worthy. Now, all of this might make it seem like I'm a bit nitpicking. That's because I am. A game is not just about the gameplay. A game is everything that surrounds the gameplay. Just like how a cake isn't complete without frostings and toppings, a game isn't complete without bells and whistles. GBO 2 is definitely lacking in that polish. The graphics are potato, the game runs like an ostrich going backwards, and the gacha mechanics make me want to join a terrorist cell and destroy Anaheim Electronics. In other news though, the gameplay of GBO 2 is pretty solid. It's a fun system with a lot of weapon, movement, and stagger. This game can be fun when you learn to pick mobile suits that have good mobility, good weapons, learn how to cancel melee animations, learn how to combo by fast weapon swapping, and there's some real skill involved in this game. There's a lot of complicated system in play, and if you learn all the systems, you'll get really good at the game and you'll fly across the battlefield, and that's really fun. I enjoy the variety of mobile suits in this game because, well, there's like 350 of them or something. Right now, in the earlier stages of the PC release, I don't think everybody understands like quote-unquote meta so far, so everybody's just playing what they got, which is fantastic, because I'm gonna dread it later on when people figure out the meta and they start running the same suits over and over again. The meta, by the way, is 1 raid, 1 support, and 3 generals. And you know what's fun? Staggering people, knocking them down with melee, and then comboing on them. You know what's not fun? Having the same thing happen to you over and over again as you get caught in a perpetual loop of death and rebirth. Just like Evangelion. I can't stress how frustrating this game is as you watch your mobile suit be knocked down and killed over and over again. And sometimes that just happens because you're in a bad matchup. You see, you can't see what types of mobile suit your enemies are playing before the match, of course. So you never know how many raids, general, or supports they're going to be running. If they decide to run a couple of mobile suits that are not or that are good against your type of mobile suit, you're kind of fucked in that scenario, and you have to switch your game plan very, very drastically. That's a little hard to play around. It's a little hard to play around, and that's generally why people run a lot of generals, because while they are bad against supports are also pretty bad, and generals can't out melee supports. So that's why there's usually a lot of generals involved, and raids are really good, but generals are sort of better in that mid-range capacity. Anyways, I don't really have any more complaints about the gameplay, except for the stud duration or whatever, but that's like a key component of learning how to play and learning how to mitigate that. I enjoy the heck out of the gaming loop, and I guess the gaming loop is the only reason that people are so invested in this game. There seems to be a trend with Gundam games. The frosting and the toppings are really bad. Like, for example, G-Evo, GBO2, Gundam Extreme Burst. The accessibility and the quality of life of these games are really, really bad. But the gameplay loop is some of the most fun I've ever had in video games. So I just want to keep playing it. But Japan is making it so difficult to enjoy it. It's like if you're in a dessert shop and you're enjoying this cake, but it's like every single time you're going for a bite, there's a Japanese businessman with a credit card machine asking you to swipe. That's exactly how it feels like for me. But in every review, I think I'm gonna make it so that my most valuable score is how much time you should invest in this game, because the most valuable thing that you can save in this world is your lifetime. Your money, you can always learn more money. Did I say earn more money? But your lifetime is precious, and you should be doing things that are important to you. And I think in the case of GBO2 right now, I don't think it's worth your lifetime yet. I recommend waiting for the game to be a little bit more playable on PC before investing into it. And you should be playing something like Bullgum. Warhammer 40k Bullgum just came out. It's a great shooter, great classic Doom shooter, something like that. Or you can go watch like Oshinoko or something like that. Great anime. And now for something completely different. Welcome to the Gundam photo contest on Discord, where we have some cool community works. There's 3 categories: epic, funny, and also quality. Didn't get too many qualities this time. I think I'm gonna change the rules up a little bit, because some of the quote-unquote epic ones could be more like quality photos. But let's start off with a honorable mention. Here you see the Strike Freedom with a lot of pew-pews going off of it. That's a really cool photo, I think. The only thing that bothers me was the background. I think the editing of the beams were really cool. The glow part was really cool, but come on, man. You're telling me you couldn't do anything with the background? We can see everything in your room right there. So that's why it didn't make it onto the top 3. And for number 3, we have, I think this is a high new Gundam. I'm not sure what grade it is. It might have been master grade. I'm pretty sure it was a master grade. And it had a stand. They had the high new posing. Very cool, by the way. And I love how the background is, because while, most of these photos aren't the highest of quality, I can appreciate the subtle nuance of them, such as the background having that blue hue because it's that kind of type of day, and also because of the lighting, the white of the suit looks a little bit more like the brown of the table. It's a really nice photo. I really enjoyed this one, but it's gonna be number 3. Now number 2, this is by, I should have said who that was. The high new was by Boomski. Number 2, this is by Professor T, and Professor T did a really nice job with Exia. It has Super cool pose. It's dagger, back dagger out. I really like the back dagger stuff. I see that he has a stand, and also he has pure black background with a little bit of lightning work. Kind of like he's in space. Could have used a little bit more editing to put like dots in the background, and that would have been really cool. But this is a solid one. It's almost my number one. It's so close. Like if you put a little bit of an image in the background, that would have been fan-fucking-tastic. And for the number one in the epic category, it's going to be the Wing Gundam, or Wing Zero. And this is by a shot in Discord. While there's other shit in the photo that probably shouldn't be there, there is a really cool component in this photo, mostly the poster in the background. I don't think anybody else really had stuff in the background, so this is a really cool thing to look for, because I gave this number one because I like the angle of this. I could see that like the Wing Zero dropping in the streets. If you rotated this shit like 30 degrees to the left, the camera's 30 degrees to the left, and just had that poster in the background, like that would have been just so much cooler. But this is already pretty cool, so that's my number one for epic. It's a nice photo. It's a nice Wing Zero. I enjoyed the Wing Zero. But let's move on to funny. Number three, also by shot. It's it's just a unicorn, and it's missing his arms. I don't know why this makes me laugh. It's just really funny to me. I don't know. It would have been really more funny if he attached a back piece to the legs, so that it actually looks like a unicorn. So if he put the arms in the behind, that would have been fucking hilarious. I don't know why that's really funny to me, but that's gonna be number three. And number two, it's going to be by Setsuna FCA. It's the Zoc. The Zoc. He's really sad about the Gun Evil server. Dude, I didn't even know they sell Zoc model kits, but apparently they do. That's a great photo right there. That's good meme potential. At number one, it's gonna be by Havim. It's the Gundam Idols. I am so fucking tempted to put some Macross Delta music over this. If I don't get copyrighted, you'll hear about it right now. It's gonna be the Astray Red Frame, the Barbados, the Seraphim Gundam, I think that's the Age 1, I'm pretty sure, and then the Double Zeta in the back. Just a super cool pose with a bit of editing. That's a really nice photo. Good job, Havim. And for quality, we had only really 2 submissions. I think Shiro accidentally put a little bit too much in it, but one of the qualities is a very old HGUC. It's a Zaku 2, and you can tell that this is a really old suit because you can see the seam lines and stuff like that, which is kind of cool to see a piece of history, you know. That's also really nice. Honorable mentions in the quality category. Pain Dash did have a unicorn. That's a really cool pose. I don't know why he had Paimon in there, but he did. That's pretty cool. I don't know. It's really funny to me if the unicorn is like protecting the Paimon photo. It says, "Don't touch my waifu. She's 3,000 years old," or something. Maybe that's just me. But I think Ether also had a RG Sazabi. I think that's the RG Sazabi. It might be the MG Sazabi. I'm not entirely sure. But that's also a pretty good quality build. I love the kit is just good in general. I love the sticker works. That's pretty cool. But the first place is going to go to Shiro 2. I think he has really cool weathering on this full armor ground Gundam. I think this is from Thunderbolt Part 2, where they had like a fake white base, and this is the full armor ground Gundam. It's a really nice looking kit, and I love the little like metallic weathering. I love the sort of like stripping of metal effect that it gets going on. This is a wonderful photo. You should be really proud of yourself. Well done. And that's going to be it for the community Gunpla photo contest. Thank you all for watching. Play some, I don't know, get outside, touch some grass, get some water, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Ciao.